So I am at a thrift store right now, and none of these books are sorted by genre. So I do have to go through pretty much all of them to pull out any that I think I might enjoy. But I have found two. The first one here is Into Thin Air. This was one that was on my Goodreads want to read list that I don't believe I own yet. And the second one that I found is Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Now, each of these books cost $3.25, and these are the right size to annotate. So I'm going to be taking these ones home. I don't know if I'll find anything else, but there's definitely a lot to go through. So this is going to be stop number one. Hey everyone, it's Zahava. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to go on a little shopping trip to get some books, which I actually have with me right here in front of me. And I was so excited to share this with you that I didn't even bother doing my usual setup. I wanted to show you guys what I got today right away. So welcome in to everyone who is a returning subscriber or returning watcher, and welcome to everyone who is new. Let's go and see a little bit of book shopping footage, and then when we come back from that, we will see the books that I picked up on my latest book haul. So right now we are at an Indigo, and I'm just giving you a view of the shelves that are in the fiction section. And we're going to see in a second a little bit of the graphic novels, and then we will walk over to some fantasy and then a little bit of science fiction. I don't read graphic novels normally, so I always just go directly to the fantasy books. Here you'll see me picking up The Shadow of the Gods. This is me having a little bit of book envy. You're going to see that in this section because the books are just like crazy expensive and I can't afford to buy them, at least not right now at this price. And Book Market didn't have any of the John Gwynns. And so, like, I'm just not going to pick them up. They didn't have any Christina Henry either. So that's something I think I may want to pick up eventually, but it's not going to be in today's trip. We do walk over here to where the Book of Doors is. I'm actually reading it currently when you see this video, but as the time that I'm recording this voiceover, I've already finished the book. So that'll be coming up in a separate vlog. This one here is Dismemberment, or Dating Dismemberment. I don't know. I just really like the cover. I don't know anything about it. Sometimes when I see a good cover, I just pick it up. I can't help myself. I could spend literally all day in the fantasy section, but right now, The Fish, that's in the science fiction section. Unfortunately, they didn't have a little blurb about that one. I like the cover of it, but there was no blurb on the back, so I didn't know what it was about, and I left it there because of that. Then we turned around, went back to the fantasy section, and I went round to the other side where I enviously picked up a special edition of Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, and I really wish that they would come out with a Live Ship Traders special edition. I'm just feeling the books, but like I own them, right? So then I've got a little section here where I'm picking up The Will of the Many. I definitely want to get to that one eventually, but as you'll see in a second, this second sort of printing of it with the yellow spray around the page edges, that one there is $47. So I'm really not going to be able to pick that one up, at least not for, the foreseeable future. And then this one here is called Under the Oak Tree. I don't know anything about it. I liked the cover. I liked the sprayed edges of that one, and, just intrigued me, so of course I picked that one up. We're just going to quickly walk by the teen section now, and we're going to head towards the bargain books, where you're going to see a couple of tables that I'll show you, 3 for $20 books and 3 for $10 behind it. I didn't pick up anything here. If you guys see anything that you think I should have picked up, let me know in the comments, because I just did kind of like a once around and then didn't bother to pick anything up over here, because I guess I do judge books by their covers. I think we all do to some degree, and I didn't see anything here. I'm not really a romance reader, as you guys know, so I didn't pick up anything on these tables, but we will head to the wall in just a second, and I'll give you a quick view, like right here, of some fiction books. And then we will head over to the fantasy section there on the right. It's coming up in a sec. On the right in the back, and I will pick up 3 books there. And that's the end of the book tour. All right, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed that footage. And we are back in the office where we are looking at a whole beautiful backdrop of fabric. But what we are here to talk about today is, of course, books. So I want to just show you guys, you saw a little bit of what I picked up in the footage earlier before, but I want to show you guys exactly what I came home with, because I think there's 1, maybe 2 titles that you didn't see. So let's go through them and talk about them right now. So at our first stop, we went to a Friperie Renaissance, which is the Quebec version of Goodwill. So we were at a Goodwill, and the books there were priced at $3.25 each. And I picked up 2 books there, which I think that you guys saw in the video clip. And I'm going to show you what they are again. And so the first one that I have is Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. It is not a story that I know. It certainly sounds like it has a really good premise, though. And I know that they made it into a movie, which I want to say came out in like 1997. I'll double check and put it across the screen for you. But I had heard possibly about the movie and didn't know that it was a book, but the book obviously existed before the movie. So in order to see the movie, since I haven't seen it yet, I've made a pact with myself that I'm going to read the book first and see the movie after. So this is one that I picked up, and if you guys are unfamiliar with it, so I'll read you guys the back. So this one here spent 4 years on the New York Times bestseller list. It is nonfiction / literature. So I think that it should be really interesting. It is listed as a nonfiction, and I thought that it was fiction. So I guess it's going to be even more interesting than I thought it would be, because it's kind of like a cross of nonfiction and literature. So I guess it's maybe like both. I don't know. If you guys have read it, let me know what I should expect in the comments below. But I did like the way it sounded on the back, and it was in, of course, the right format that I could annotate it if I wanted to. So it says, "Genteel society ladies who compare notes on their husbands' suicides, a hilariously foul-mouthed black drag queen, a voodoo priestess who works on her roots in the graveyard at midnight, a morose inventor who owns a bottle of poison powerful enough to kill everyone in town, a prominent antiques dealer who hangs a Nazi flag from his window to disrupt the shooting of a movie, and a redneck gigolo whose conquests describe him as a walking streak of sex. These are some of the real residents of Savannah, Georgia, a city whose eccentric mores are unerringly observed and whose dirty linen is gleefully aired in this utterly irresistible book. At once a true crime murder story and a hugely entertaining and deliciously perverse travelogue, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil is as bracing and intoxicating as half a dozen mint juleps." So I don't know why, but for some reason I thought that this was a complete fiction novel, and it turns out that it is nonfiction, although I don't know. There's like so much dialogue and so many things going on in this. So I don't know. Is it like a crossover between fiction and nonfiction? I don't know, but it certainly sounds really interesting. And again, I know that it was made into a movie because when I saw the book on the shelf, I said, that title tells me something. Like, it's like I should know what it is. And I had never heard of it before. So I am looking forward to reading it. Let me know if you guys have read it and what you think. Do you think I'll like it? I think so. Sounds pretty interesting to me. The next thing that I found at the thrift store, I was actually really, really stoked to find, because it happened to have already been on my Goodreads want to read list. And it is actually another nonfiction. It is a memoir. It is Into Thin Air by Jon Krakauer. So this book actually recounts the true story of Krakauer and his climbing team when they all went up Mount Everest in the mid-90s. It is a book that I had on my want to read list on Goodreads. And when I found it at the thrift store, I was just totally stoked. $3.25. I didn't have it already in my TBR cart, so it was just meant to be, and I picked it up. It's a first-person account of one of the many disasters that have happened up on the mountain, and I just can't wait to get into it. It's kind of reminding me a little bit of Alive, which I already have on my TBR cart, and I think that you guys may have seen in a previous book haul video. So it's kind of in the same realm of survivalist, and, just like harrowing adventure, true adventure stories. So, and it also had like terrific reviews, so I'm very excited to read this one. The next 4 books that I picked up at the Indigo bookstore, which you guys saw some footage of as I was going through the shelves, and the books that I ended up picking up, I was really good, you guys. I spent under $30, including the taxes, on 4 hardcover books because I bought them all in the bargain section. So I'm really, really excited about that. I feel like, you know, that's a win, right? Like, it's always a win when you can get stuff that promises to be really good and you're not paying the full price. And that's totally fine for me, because if I were to have bought it at Book Outlet, I would have paid probably in the $6 to $9 or $10 range for new books anyways. So the fact that these were $8 each was just right up my alley and gave me all the excuse that I needed to pick them up and bring them home. So the first one I want to talk to you about is this one here by Dara Horn called Eternal Life. So it is a novel. I paid the $8. It's a hardcover book. On the back, it doesn't really say what the book is about. It's just more like what people think about it. And on the inside, it says, Rachel is a woman with a problem. She can't die. Her recent troubles, widowhood, a failing business, an unemployed middle-aged son, are only the latest in a litany spanning dozens of countries, scores of marriages, and hundreds of children. In the 2,000 years since she's made a spiritual bargain to save the life of her first son back in Roman-occupied Jerusalem, she's tried everything to free herself, and only one other person in the world understands, a man she once loved passionately who has been stalking her through the centuries, convinced that they belong together. But as the 21st century begins and her children and grandchildren, consumed with immortality in their own ways, from the frontiers of digital currency to genetic engineering, develop new technologies that could change her fate and theirs, Rachel knows she must find a way out. So it sounds really good. It had some good I won't lie when I tell you that before taking these books home, I had to have a basic interest in what I was reading on the inside flap or on the back cover. But then I did go to Goodreads. You guys know me. I did go to Goodreads and I checked to see what other people were saying about it. And if I felt that, you know, the general consensus was that the book would be good, I figured my initial interest in the book plus the general consensus of other people was enough for me to take it home. So of course it goes without saying that I'm excited to read all of the books that I took home, but I am still curious as to whether or not you guys have read it. I haven't heard, mind you, I haven't been around BookTube very long, but I have never heard anyone talk about this one, Eternal Life, before. So maybe what I'll do after I finish filming this video is obsessively go down the rabbit hole of seeing what other people are saying about these books, if I can find any videos about them on YouTube. So we will see. The next book that I have for you guys is The Ladies of the Secret Circus, and that is by Constance Sayers. And this one here is, again, a hardcover. It's got a beautiful cover. I love the cover of this one. It just made me, it's feeling very like HBO's Carnival when I look at this a little bit, but I don't know why. Maybe it's because of like the colors and things like that, but it's feeling like that to me. On the back, again, you don't have anything about the story. It's just some marketing quotes to kind of get you into what other people think about the book. And then on the inside, let's just flip open the dust jacket a little bit. Okay, so the book is yellow, a beautiful bright yellow to match with the dust cover. So I'm loving that. And I'll just read you a little bit of what it says on the inside here. So it says, Paris 1925. To enter the secret circus is to enter a world of wonder, a world where women weave illusions of magnificent beasts, carousels take you back in time, and trapeze artists float across the sky. Bound to her family's circus, Cécile Cabot knows no other world until she meets a charismatic young painter and embarks on a passionate affair that could cost her everything. And then it takes you to Virginia, 2004. Lara Barnes is on top of the world until her fiancé disappears on their wedding day. When her desperate search for answers unexpectedly leads her to great-grandmother's journals, Lara is swept into a story of dark circus and ill-fated love. So I'm guessing that Lara's grandmother must be Cécile Cabot, which is really cool. Soon, secrets about Lara's family history begin to come to light, revealing a curse that has been claiming payment from the women in her family for generations. A curse that might be tied to her fiancé's mysterious disappearance. So that sounds absolutely, absolutely intriguing. I have not read Night Circus yet, and I think that I have another circus-themed book that's on my TBR card right now, but I really feel like this one may be cutting the line. So stay tuned for a future reading vlog and see when I pick this one up, because I have a feeling it's going to be one of the first ones as soon as I'm finished the Book of Doors, which I am currently reading right now. So really looking forward to reading this one, but such is the case with all of the ones I picked up. So that's going to start sounding redundant pretty darn quick. Okay. Next, I have The Great Witch of Brittany. This is by Louisa Morgan. Louisa Morgan, again, dust jacket, same dealio right here. Just, quotes about how people have loved the book, which doesn't really do much to sell me. I always prefer when they write the little blurb on the back, but I guess now more and more in hardcovers, they're not doing that because they tend to put it here on the side. So I will read you what it says. And again, I should just note that the original price of these books, they're all about $30 to $40 each. That's the original price of this one. And this one also yellow on the inside. So pretty cool, pretty cool. And let me know, you guys, because the question is popping to my mind right now, but do you guys remove the dust jackets of your hardcover books when you read them, or do you leave them on? Just, are you like team remove or team leave on? Let me know in the comments below if you remove them or leave them on, and maybe we'll take a little poll and we'll see who prefers to read their hardcover. Maybe you don't read hardcovers at all and you always wait for the paperback to come out. So let me know that as well in the comments. All right, so The Great Witch of Brittany. This one had over 4 stars on Goodreads. I'm not sure exactly which, but I did check it and it had really, really good reviews. And again, this is a book I've never heard of. Just picked it up because it looked interesting. And it says, a spellbinding tale of magic and fate, triumph and heartbreak, and the powerful bonds between mothers and daughters unfolds in the late 1700s. That doesn't make sense. That English doesn't make sense. Okay, anyway. So Brittany, 1762. There hasn't been a witch born in the Orquier clan for generations. According to the elders, that line is dead, leaving the clan vulnerable to persecution. Ursule Orquier has been raised on stories of the witches of the past. But the only magic she knows are the false spells her mother weaves over the gullible women who visit their fortune-telling caravan. Everything changes when Ursule comes of age, and a spark of power flares to life. Guided by an ancient grimoire and the whispers of her ancestors, Ursule is destined to walk the same path as the great witches of old. First, the Orquier magical lineage must survive. Danger hovers over Ursule. Will she be able to escape the bloodlust of the mob and the flames of the pyre? So in the back of the book, this is something really interesting. In the back of the book, it says that Louisa Morgan is a pseudonym for award-winning author Louise Marley. Louise lives in the mountains northwest, where she and her family, Oscar the Border Terrier, rambled the paths and breathed the clear air of scenic Idaho. And apparently she has a few other books, A Secret History of Witches, The Witch's Kind, and The Age of Witches. But when I looked this up, it didn't seem to be part of any kind of series. To me, it looks like it is just a standalone novel. So if you guys are familiar with this author or any of the other books that she's written, please let me know in the comments below what you think of them, or if you think I should pick them up or something like that. I'll probably do some more research on my own, but I don't know. Sounds like it could be a good one. And then lastly, I picked up a book called Gods of Jade and Shadow, and this is by Silvia Moreno Garcia. And this one actually, I don't know if you can tell, but it was $8 and it was the last one that they had in the store. And it has this manufacturer's defect. It was the way that it's printed. Can you see how it's coming out of the book? It almost looks like it's not even attached. So I flipped it open to the pages where it was supposed to have been cut properly and it wasn't cut. Do you guys see that? And then on the top over here, I don't know if it'll come into focus because it's kind of hard to hold it in front of the camera. Let me see if I can do it this way. See how it's cut off there? It's super weird. So I did ask the people at the bookstore if they could give me a better price, because even if it was $8, had they had another one in stock, I would have taken the copy that obviously wasn't a defect, but they didn't have another copy. It was the last copy that they had in the store. So they did give me an extra 10% discount on this one. And I think I'm just going to go at this with my scissors and just cut off this little bit. But I wanted to wait and show it to you guys before I did that. So Gods of Jade and Shadow. And this one here is, I believe, of Mexican folklore. I'm pretty sure that's what I read. So let's go in. Yeah, Mexican folklore. So let me tell you what this one is about if you're unfamiliar with the title. The Mayan god of death sends a young woman on a harrowing, life-changing journey in this dark fairy tale inspired by Mexican folklore. The jazz age is in full swing, but Cassiopeia Tun is too busy cleaning the floors of her wealthy grandfather's house to listen to any fast tunes. Nevertheless, she dreams of a life far from her dusty small town in southern Mexico, a life she can call her own. Yet this new life seems as distant as the stars until the day she finds a curious wooden box in her grandfather's room. She opens it and accidentally frees the spirit of the Mayan god of death, who requests her help in recovering his throne from his treacherous brother. Failure will mean Cassiopeia's demise, but success could make her dreams come true. In the company of the strangely alluring god, and armed with her wits, Cassiopeia begins an adventure that will take her on a cross-country odyssey from the jungles of Yucatan to the bright lights of Mexico City and deep into the darkness of the Mayan underworld. So I have never, ever come across a book that spoke about Mexican folklore, Mayans, or anything like that, and fictionalized it. I don't know if you guys have. If you have, please suggest them to me and send them my way, but I have never. So when I saw this, I actually, because of the defects, I actually, like, once I saw it, I put it back down on the shelf. After that little clip that I filmed for you guys that you will have seen earlier in this video, I actually felt bad, and I put the book down, and then I was like, oh, but it sounds so interesting. So let me go ahead and take it to the cash and see if they can give me an extra discount. And they did, but they told me it was a final sale. And I said, that's fine. There's no problem with that because I'll probably end up annotating it anyway. So yeah, I ended up taking it home, and I'm really, really happy I did because it sounds like it's going to be absolutely fantastic. So, all right, guys. So that is going to bring us to the end of our video today. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me today. I'm always curious to see what your guys' comments are about the books that I picked up, and if you think that I made good choices, if you guys have read some of the ones that I picked up, if there's anything you think I should be trying or looking for, if you're familiar with the author and I haven't picked up their books yet, let me know. I really appreciate you guys spending the time here with me today, and I will see you again in the next one. Ciao for now.